Okay, now we're really getting into it. So after messing with this for half a day, trying to get this side to close up and line up, and just messing with it and it just not getting to where I wanted it. It was close enough. I probably could have just sent it and welded it, but I just couldn't get this clean broken edge. Okay, right here should have went right here, and it just wasn't doing it. I just constantly seen a gap all the way. I couldn't figure out why. So what I did is I loosened up the cylinders on the side. I opened the valve and I pried the cylinders up, and then I clamped them back in place. So we got the cylinders up out of the way. And then I just went ahead and cut off my tacks. I had tack welded this side. I got this side to sit flush. This edge here was sitting nice up in here. But the whole time I'm thinking, I wish I could bevel these edges more and get a better weld, you know, around in here. So I decided just to cut the whole thing out of there and figure out why I couldn't get it over. And I believe the problem was right here. This piece, okay, this little piece is bent over and down. It's like ripped. So I'm gonna cut all of this out of here, bevel this really. I'm just gonna probably plasma cut it all out of here, plasma cut a lot of this gunk out. I'm gonna try and leave one spot of reference where I can put it back. I think I like right here where this is, and then we have this problem to deal with. Okay, on this side it stayed on. The piece that they welded on here stayed on. On this side it ripped off with it. I guess the weld was stronger than the actual piece. So what I'm going to do with that is, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to do it. I was going to try to weld a nut to the back side, and then try to weld, you know, I don't know, man. And then I was going to try to just weld a stud in there, and then put a like I was going to cut the head off of this bolt and lay that down in there and have a stud sticking out. But I don't know if it's gonna, well, I think the stud idea would probably be better if I can't. The only thing is the clearance. Okay, so there's really not much clearance on that side. So if I did a bolt or a stud, I'd have to shave one side of the nut flush over here. But the stud I can probably weld in there. I don't know. I'm still up in the air with that, but I think what I'm actually going to do is cut this whole piece off. Just cut that out of there and bevel everything that way, and then bevel all this, because this is this needs to be cut out really. And bevel all this stuff up in here, cut all this crap out that was kind of left over that I couldn't get to with the ram in the way. Now that it's up out of the way, I could just get in there and just bevel the crap out of everything. I just need to make sure that I have a reference of where to put this thing back. So I'm on the fence. I think I might just clean this up a little bit, but leave these, cut all this out of here, bevel the crap out of this so I can get in there and fill that all back in with weld. Bevel this, bevel it on the bottom, and just clean it up. Doing it the way I was doing it, I believe, even if I didn't get that to pinch all the way in, the way this kind of is, a little bit of you know, a 1/16 out really isn't going to bother anything, but it would bother me. I think I would have gotten it to where it would have worked and held and been a better repair, because looking at this, when all this broke, the only thing they did is they welded here where they could, they welded here where they could, and they put these two straps in. So the whole time it was flexing back. When these rams would come up, there was nothing actually holding this up on the backside, so it was twisting, which is literally these straps were the only thing holding it up. So unfortunately we had to go a step further, and I did find the parts I had bought for this thing, and I bought these mast bushings. I'm gonna try to sneak them in there once I do the repair. Now at first when they sent them, I'm like, man, they only sent 2. Why is it not like a whole set like that? But no, I looked it up, and you basically just put half a bushing in there and it rides like that, which really doesn't make sense. You would think it would need to ride more like that. I don't know, it's a weird system. But I have what else do I have in here? Oh, I have the original springs for that, but the ones I put in there are still doing good, so we'll just keep those as spares. And I believe this is an oil, hydraulic oil filter, and then this is the motor oil filter. So we'll do an oil change, not today, but eventually. I need to find out where this thing's leaking. Still a lot to do with this thing, but man, this was some unexpected stuff. And then I forgot this was even here, but once I put those bushings in, I noticed there was Zerks fit-ins in a couple places, and then this chart here tells you all the gear oil, all the stuff, basically, all the grease points, or the lubrication chart is basically what it is. So yeah, unexpected little thing. Couldn't have happened at a worse time. I've had to use my pallet jack to move some stuff around, store stuff in the other bay, and I am not liking that. So we definitely need to get this thing dialed in and fixed, get those bushings, because I noticed the mast on this thing would rock back and forth when there was nothing, when there was no weight on it, which probably could have been a cause of that problem there. I don't know. I don't know what would have caused that whole thing to break off. I'm thinking crappy welds from the factory, you know. That's a very important part, and big thick metal. I don't see why that thing should have came off. So I'm gonna go get myself a sandwich, think on this for a minute, see if I'm gonna cut that off, or if I'm just gonna, I think I'm just gonna leave it there as a reference and then gouge around it. I'm gonna put that in the vise and just go to work on it, and then I'll go to work on underneath to get this thing to where I could put some thick beads in there and actually fix this right, rather than, you know, a rigged up fix, which would have been better than the first fix, because I actually would have welded the back sides and around the sides, but I didn't. With the grinder and that still being in there, I wasn't able to get a good enough bevel on. I'm gonna bevel the crap out of that and lay in some thick bead with the old big old Miller-Matic here. Okay, here we go. This is what we got going on here. So I've completely taken that off. I've beat the crap out of it. Now there is a huge gap here because this thing is actually, it's either sprung open or something's holding it. I do have this strap tight as crap. Trying to squeeze it together. I think what I'm going to have to do before I weld anything is let this down and relax. Or you know what I think I'm going to do is I'm actually going to tack weld this side in pretty good, because I know exactly where this needs to go. That crack right here, let's see, that basically is telling me where I need to go. And then there was two original, which I think was originally part of this piece here, flat spots under here. I noticed it when I took it off, and I figured I'd use that as a reference for a flat line. Now, being that this whole forklift is on a major angle, I did put a wedge in here to tilt this back, and I matched that angle. The only thing I'm having a hard time, because I ground most of my reference points away, is where that other side needs to go. So what I'm going to do is put this exactly where it needs to go, and I'm going to measure here and just make sure that this one is the same. Right now I'm having a problem with this is too long, and I think what happened is when this broke originally, now I've already ground this once with the wheel, and then I welded it up, and then I ground it again. So this is two wheel thicknesses actually shorter. So actually when it's like that there, you can see the gap it's supposed to have. But this side is so long, I think what's happened is when this broke, they couldn't get that side up back all the way or whatever, and they actually welded it with it down. And that makes sense, because when I'm coming in and out of my shop, if I have that thing tilted forward at all, look at this, it's tearing up. It just put bunches of grooves into the diamond plate right here and basically smoothed it out. I've never had anything over here, but right here, basically where that thing would sit, it must have had some weld sticking down. I would dig into this thing. If I didn't remember to bring the thing back, I was hitting there. And I believe that's because that thing was actually welded down. So when I put this back together, it's going to be straighter than it was. And that could be why there was always weird stuff going on with this thing. It's because them rams were kind of wonky or whatever. But they'll be on the same plane. I just need to figure out how I'm going to pull that over. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that strap so that it's not in the way, because I'm actually, other than maybe trying to push this behind where it was originally welded so it doesn't hit that thing, I'm going to weld them back on there and leave them. Because even though it's kind of a ghetto fix, if it wasn't for those straps, that whole thing would have fallen off and I would have been stuck wherever this thing broke. So it was kind of like a little safety measure thing. And they're not really, other than that, they're not in the way of anything. So but I am gonna take the grinder or the cutoff and slice that there, let that go where it wants to go. And actually those are a good indication of where this thing actually needs to be, because that's where they were welded. So I got some big gaps in there, but that's getting welded from both sides. I'll work this side a little bit, and then I'll come in from underneath over here, work that side, and you know, we're just going to fill it up with weld. At least it's going to be 100%, and not just the face, because it was literally just this face right here that was welded. And I don't know how long it was like that. There was a lot of dirt caked up on there, so it must have been like that for a long time. These things have pins that go in here, and then there's a bolt. This bolt runs up. I'm gonna have to see if I can't find another one of these bolts, because this cylinder, it was missing the bolt. And then what I'm gonna do is, I'm probably, I don't know, I'll probably just stick a nut and a bolt through there once I get this welded up, so that I can pinch that. And then once I get this welded up and the cylinder's back into place, well, I'm going to tack everything, at least on one side, get that cylinder, make sure that the cylinder drops down, and then I'm going to do one side at a time. This is kind of scary, the way I don't understand why, like, if it's picking up the weight, why the weight is not, well, I guess because this hydraulic cylinders, it would almost be pushing in, so that does kind of make sense, pushing in, but they're not like this. This thing is not sitting on the axle like this. It's like that. So there's only like so much here on the top that's actually holding this thing from flipping out. And when I took that bolt off the bottom earlier, then I got nervous. I'm like, man, what if this thing decides to, like, it was literally just holding on by the top bolt, which was kind of sketchy. So yeah, we got a lot of sketchiness going on. Anyway, hopefully going this far and pulling that all the way off is, I'll never have to deal with it again, hopefully. There almost is enough space, very little space right here. If I had to, I could run a plate across. The problem is that it's, you know, that's just the front. You'd have to support the back somehow. I could probably gusset it with an angle. I don't know. We're just gonna have to get some bead on there, and there still is gonna be some tight areas where I'm gonna have to use the 110 welder, but I'm gonna get most of this with the big welder, filling them gaps, man. And yeah, this has been a little way bigger project than I was expecting. But I have so much to do with this forklift that I have to do this, and I'm gonna try one at a time to get them bushings in here, and then, you know, just take it one step at a time with this thing. Try to find a leak. I need to take it outside and jack it up like this, and I need to get a pressure washer with like a 90 degree or something, so I can really get up underneath this thing and check for any other, you know, now I'm thinking about this, what other structural things. I really need to back or jack the rear end of this up, because those tires are all over the place, man. And I don't want something breaking, and we'll be doing something like this again. So anyway, I'm gonna get this thing kind of tacked into place, and then we're gonna see if we can't squeeze this over. There's a gap up in here. I don't know if, like, I don't know what's holding it, but I want to get this at least tacked in, and then relax all this down, get the wood out, get the jack out from underneath of it, and just see where it wants to sit, and see if I can't kind of pry it into place. This is a project and a half right here. Ultimately, this thing should have just been taken right off, like the whole thing, but I don't have my cherry picker here, I don't have another forklift, and so this is the repair that we're doing. We don't have all that stuff or an extra way of picking. You know, this is a solution. Well, we'll find out, because I ain't done yet. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but we're going to get more weld than what was on there before for sure. And yeah, hopefully this is the last time we have to do something like this. Okay, I finally got this thing tacked in to where it needs to be, and I referenced off of that there. And I had to put a strap coming down underneath this thing and just squeeze this thing together. It was sprung or something, but we're pretty much where we need to be, and I'm gonna send it. We got the gap filler 5000 out here, the Miller-Matic. Yeah, so I'm just gonna preheat it a little more, and then now once I start laying some bead down there, it's gonna get hot, so I just need to preheat it once, and then we're just gonna keep filling these gaps, man. So hopefully I got enough wire in the machine here. I'm gonna do all the big boy sections, and then there is some tight areas I might have to get in there with that, just to get some weld all over this thing, because I don't want to be doing this again. And hopefully that was the issue with me hitting my ramp. I think they welded that thing down on an angle, so hopefully my repair is going to be better than whoever's bush repair that was, because that was kind of ghetto. And this was a lot of work, man. I'm glad I decided to actually pick those rams up and just cut the whole thing off of there, because I would have not gotten as much penetration as would be needed for this job. Okay, the gap filler 5000, man, laid down some bead. That machine is no joke. It just keeps running. Now on this side, I may have got a little extra. I put a couple extra layers on there, and then it looks kind of messed up because I hammered it with the what do you call it, that air needler. This side looks a little better. There's multiple layers in there, and I think I'm gonna have to find a carbide bit and get in there and kind of cut some of that out, because I think I got just a little too much in there for that cylinder to come down and sit flush. I don't want any kind of weird pressures. Underneath, man, I hate welding upside down. I lit my forklift seat on fire. Now, there is a couple little things on the back side I want to weld, but it's kind of too big for that thing to get in there, so I'm just going to use the little 110 welder. Is it going to make that much of a difference? I don't know, but I want to weld as much as possible, as much as I can get around and get to. This is going to be a little sketchy because I'm actually going to have to get myself up under the machine, but I do have a jack up under the thing here holding it up, so we'll make sure all of our cribbing and everything is in good standing before I get up under here. I'm gonna get hydrated real quick, finish up, and then I'm gonna take this stuff out and bring this down, see where this is set in. We're just probably gonna just push it back like that, but I need to rock this all the way back to make sure that this isn't gonna interfere with I don't think it's gonna move that far back. Something's been interfering over here. I don't know, but we'll see. It's on there. Looks pretty solid. I almost forgot it. I forgot to preheat that in the beginning. After I tacked it, and what a difference when you preheat it compared to just welding a big, almost 2-inch thick piece of steel. So yeah, she's definitely in there, and I don't think it's going anywhere. At least I hope not. So, well, only time will tell. But I'm going to take a break, get back there, weld the other things. Then I'm going to go find either a nut and a bolt, and I'll weld a stud right in there, or I'll just leave it as a nut and a bolt. I don't know. And then I'm gonna see about getting those bushings in there. We'll do one side at a time where I can kind of maneuver things around. I think I could just slide it up in there. I'll pre-grease it, check those Zerks fittings to make sure they're working, and hopefully that'll eliminate a lot of the weirdness that was going on with this thing. So, okay. Well, I'm gonna see if I can find a piece of carbide to hog that out a little bit and clean that up so that sits flush. Probably have to do the same thing to this side, and then we're ready to put this thing back to work. All right, man. It's actually the next day. We're over here with the Maroon car. Steve put a new radiator in it. The other one seemed to be, probably can't tell from there. Two things I noticed about this thing. Anyway, it's hard to tell. It was just clogged up, it looked like.
Yes, plug solid. All right, you ready?
Yeah. Let's see if this thing actually starts up.
It should fire right up.
I don't know, what's the gauge say? Full?
I'm gonna spray it.
Hit it with some juice?
Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah.
It hurt us. You want to do the honors? Don't take much. You can go in that hole. You ready?
Through the filter?
Yeah. In here.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah. Give it a little.
I think she's gonna drive this thing. Ready? Hitting it?
I mean, it's dripping out of there. Go ahead, hit it one more time. So it's a fuel issue.
Real good. Spray it right in there.
We've got a brand new air filter in there. Good. I was trying, it backfired.
Something ain't right.
Ain't got no fuel. Fuel pump not working? Looks like one right here. Well, at least it did something. I mean, it fired. That means it'll run if it gets fuel.
I'm wondering.
You want me to bring out the battery charger? Seemed like it was cranking fine. It's a 5.0.
Yeah. That's 302.
Same thing?
Yeah. What's this? Does anybody actually know? What's this? The computer? There's still water in that radiator.
Looks like there's still water. Where's the, oh, there's the fuel rail. Shouldn't there be a thing where you can purge it? Right here?
Yeah.
You should be able to check that.
Want something to jam in there? Is that it?
Yeah. It looks like the fuel line's right here. Is this, where's this going? Straight down.
I wasn't hearing any pump cycling. Turn it on. Normally you'll hear it. It's fucking loud. And you got a pump up there. What you doing?
I'm looking to see where this line goes.
Got to the gas tank?
Oh, you think it might be an in-tank deal?
Yeah. Why you think it's not? Yeah, man.
She said something about the fuel tank.
What'd she say?
I don't remember. Let's pop the trunk.
She said something about it though?
Yeah, there was something about
You see a fuel pump on there anywhere?
No.
I gotta Google it.
Aha.
What?
It's the Ford emblem.
Yeah.
Oh.
What you got?
Got some tools.
Yeah, it's located, the fuel pump's inside the gas tank.
Oh, there's wires back here that we messed with.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
How bad?
I don't know. But it looks like, one, this thing needs a prop. someone tried to bypass something.
No.
Well, put a new water pump, new radiator, and now the damn thing won't start. And it looks like someone, somebody, yeah, I know, it's right here. Let me see. Oh, hey, try it now, man. It pushed down. Okay. It's a crash reset. Someone put some, what looks to be Romex. Someone used Romex. Yeah. Here, try, hit the key. I'll listen.
Why, do you think you fixed it?
I don't know. The button was up.
Okay.
Here, I pushed it and it went. It stayed down. This trunk weighs like 100 pounds, man. Yeah. I heard it.
I heard it too. I'm going to cycle it on and off a few times.
You want me to push that purge valve? It should cycle back to tank, right?
Yeah. It sounds like it is.
Yeah. Yeah. There we go. Thing's purring like a kitten. Let's go do some burnouts. Oh, that water went down. Hey man, I got gallons of antifreeze. Huh? No, do you? Old fuel? Probably. Oh, hold on, man. Not bad. Radiator circulating, I can see the water moving. Huh? It went down, I filled it up. Man, that metal fan looks sketchy, dude. 3 blades? Yeah, was it on there tight? What'd you say it was missing? No, I know. Especially when you're revving up. Yeah, I smell that gas now.
We got no power steering. I'm trying to warm it up.
No power steering? Huh?
It says we're on empty now.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go find some power steering fluid. All right, here we go. I got the straps welded back on, and I just carved out some of the weld with this carbide die grinder, poured-in tool, something, whatever you want to call it. So we're all ready to go. Now all this pitting you see, or the marks, was from the needle skillet. This thing here is awesome. Very underestimated tool. Great for removing flaky paint, rust, getting down in corners to clean where you couldn't necessarily get with a grinder, or you know, it worked out great in this application. So we're dialed in. I hope we're flush enough for that to sit down. If not, I'll just hit it a little bit more. But we got some deep penetration with the big boy welder. Hopefully these things will sit back. I just jacked this one up a little bit more so I can access this screw. This is the one that basically the weld, it cracked right through the thing. And now that I jacked it up, you can kind of see it better. But this is where these need to go. Okay, these bushings or bearings or whatever you want to call them, they're plastic or polyester or something. I'm gonna take that whole cap off now. I took the strap, I lowered it down, and I strapped it to the front of this just so that thing doesn't walk out. But I'm gonna do one at a time. I'm gonna see if I can't take it off and just roll it up in there and then put that cap back on. Let me see anything else I need to do. Now my grease gun is broken. The whole tip like fell off. I don't even know what happened or where it went, but I can't hit none of these grease fittings until I get a new one. But I am gonna pre-grease this as I roll it up in there with some with this right here, some Prime Guard wheel bearing grease. A little bit of grease is better than no grease. So hopefully I can get these in there, get that tightened up. It'll be having 2 screws now instead of 1, and then the same thing over there. Then that'll eliminate all the rocking back and forth, and we should have a steady. You know what? I might have to adjust these chains again. When I first got this, I had to adjust the chains. I forget which side. That might have been because that dropped down and that wheel wasn't pushing up on that chain. I don't know. I don't know if that would really affect anything like that. But I will have to check the chain tension again. And then, I mean, slowly we'll just have to kind of keep going over this thing. But for now, I need to get this thing back working. I mean, I got so much stuff going on. I was using a pallet jack earlier, and that's not fun. So I'm gonna get up underneath of there, see if I can't pull that thing off. Now, I got a bunch of different size things for that. That's not going to be the bolt that's going in there. I just kind of put that in there to gauge the size, and then I believe this is the bolt we need. This one. I hope nothing really moves. I might have to go get an extension. All right, so what a project that was. I did get the bearing in that side. We got the clamp mostly tight with a new bolt. I sent the bolt in that way and just put a nut on the back side. There's plenty of clearance back there. It's better than it was, being that there was no bolt. The top was actually bent, and there's actually, it's hard to tell, but if you look right there, there's actually weld on that where that had cracked, probably because it was missing the bolt on the bottom. So we got a bolt in there. It's pretty much, it's like one small size smaller than what was up there, but for what that's doing, I don't think it's going to be a problem. The main one we want to hold is the one on the top, and that looks like it's okay. So what we had to do is put the jack pressure here, right? And I actually used the hydraulic ram to push the ram out, and it just kind of lifted that up and out, and I was able to slide the bearing up underneath. It was yeah, it was fun. So we have that in. I have it somewhat loose so that when we do the same thing, we're not going to bend anything trying to push this one out, and we just need a little bit on this side. We're going to roll that bearing in. I pre-greased it. I greased the crap out of it sliding it up. I gotta go get a grease gun, and then we bit that in. I can put the cylinders back down. I do need to address this hose, which I believe is just a vent hose. Dry rotted like heck. It's not a pressure line. When we were jacking it up, I thought there was enough in this to come up, and it just literally just snapped off. It's so dry and brittle. That's probably an original hose. We're gonna have to get some new hoses, but hey, we are literally one step away from having this thing in better shape than it's been since I've had it, and probably since it's been in a long time. So yeah, but it's we have, because we're removing the cap that holds that on, I was worried about this thing pivoting here and kicking out, so I strapped it down to my welding table, or my processing scrap, whatever, multi-purpose table. It's got a lot of weight on it, so I think it did a good job. And it actually helped, like as we were pushing it out, the top came down a little and was like pinching on the top. I just cranked on that a little bit, and it like just relieved it up enough to roll the bearing in. So we're doing good. We fought that one a little bit, but now we'll this next one should be much easier, and it actually should be a quieter ride because this thing's not just banging around on metal anymore. So I'm gonna be like really excited to get this thing back working. We got plenty of work for this thing to do today, like a lot. So she's going right back into service. I probably should check that diff oil and all the fluids once I get this thing down. Yeah, we got to make sure this thing runs top notch. Now the motor, turnkey, fires right up, idles good. The motor is running actually really good. The radiator fix we did a while back is holding up great. Still need to put the panels back on, put the cage back on, but you know, hey, baby steps, one thing at a time over here. All right, man, she is finally back on her own 4 wheels, and everything's looking good, man. We got new bushings, new floor welded in. Well, not new, but the floor welded in. Oh, I need to put that bolt back in, which I don't know where it went. Okay, I'll have to look for that. I did have to, that line looks like it was replaced at some time. I did have to replace this line right here. So I believe it's just like a bleed air, you know, this cylinder when it comes up, I guess there's probably air or hydro. I've seen some fluid come out of there, which makes me think that the seals might be leaking in here. I don't know. But hey, let's start this thing up. Run it through a couple paces. Now that she's sitting on her own 2 feet. Thing starts up, purrs like a kitten, man. So that and then now there is still something going on with this where when I pull it back, one cylinder stops before the other. And what I'm thinking is these things are probably out of adjustment. It's got about a little less than a finger's worth of thread. I don't know, it looks close, but it does pull, and then one, you know, pulls back. I'm not sure really what's going on right there, but you can kind of see it. That side stops and this side is still pulling back. Not really sure what's going on there. I'm sure that's doing all kinds of weird stuff. But seems to be functioning okay. Now, as long as this thing goes all the way down, there, we got no problems, man. Okay, well, I'm going to clean up because I'm filthy. The hardest part of this whole deal was probably putting them bushings in. I mean, the cutting and welding took a little longer, and dealing with that whole issue. But technically, on a scale of like how technical and involved it was, man, figuring out how to pick this up, pull it out, and get a gap so I can roll that bushing up in there was pretty involved, man. Basically what I had to do is put a jack up under there, right? And then I used the cylinders. I pushed the cylinders out, and it pushed the thing basically off the forklift there. And yeah, it wasn't bad actually. So hopefully that'll eliminate all the rattling and this thing walking back and forth, and have a little smoother operation. Now there's grease in there. I will be getting a grease gun. I'll pull this out, check the rest of the fluids, and we're gonna have to get on some scrap, man, because I haven't scrapped in a couple days and it's just piling up. And I got a big pile out here sitting on a scale that came from Michael Jordan's house. So we got some more celebrity scrap. So if you come this far, thanks for watching, and stay tuned. Steve's gonna fix everything in the shop. I'll tell you where we're going, right to the scrap yard. copper dancing before? That little mini forklift has got the cojones to do that. But theoretically, we could rig onto that and pull that pin. I'm gonna assume that freaking boom probably weighs every bit of 2,000 pounds or more.